So one of the things, obviously, everybody's going to be talking to you about this. It's a chapter in the book called Mr. Cosby. And I remember this year when your Vanity Fair piece came out, and I thought to myself, this is one of the bravest, best written, most honest first-person pieces that I've read in I don't know how long. Talk to me about writing that piece, putting that in this book, because it's moving, and now we're seeing what this monster did, and it's pretty moving stuff.
Well, what happened was I started my memoirs in 2013. And I said to myself, if I'm going to do my memoirs, I'm really going to tell my story. And one of those stories was the encounter with Cosby, being drugged by him. And I tell my story, and we hand the chapter in, and the editor says, we can't put that in the book. There's a lot of legal liability here. And I'm not surprised, but I said, okay. Well, at least I finally told someone my story. And then when Barbara Bowen and all these other very courageous women came out and were speaking, and I saw them being re-victimized and just treated so horribly in the press, I mean, I couldn't stand it. I didn't want to say anything because, Black Lives Matter, and I know that, but, this is a whole different situation. And I had to do something, and so I did the Vanity Fair piece, and then all of the, I didn't know it was going to do what it did, actually, because I wasn't raped.
It went viral.
It
went viral.
It was the next morning. I did that at midnight. The next morning, there was NBC, ABC, CBS at my door with those big, huge trucks that were going to beam it up to Scotty or whoever you guys do it to. It was like, what did I do here? But, I felt, my conscience and, and my principles and these women. And I knew they were telling the truth. And so, but what's really wonderful is after all that came out, my editor came back and said, about that Cosby chapter, we like to put that in the book. And that's just indicative of what's been happening. We've been trying to tell our stories, but nobody wanted it or would listen.